guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are here to study about the Peninsular Plateau, which is composed of old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. Now this plateau was formed due to the breaking and the drifting of the Gondwana land, and thus Peninsular Plateau is the oldest plateau that is being one of the oldest landmass that is being known. Now this plateau, because it's very large, it is divided into two parts, the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. Now the part of the Peninsular Plateau that lies to the north of the Narmada River and covers the major portion of the Malwa Plateau is basically the Central Highland. So Central Highland covers, it lies to the north of river Narmada, you know, sorry for this writing. Narmada is here, Narmada is flowing here. So to the north of Narmada, and a major region of this Malwa Plateau is known as these Central Highlands. So as you can see, in the north of these Central Highlands we have Vindhyas range, and to the southwest, approximately to the northwest, sorry, we have the Aravallis. To the northwest we have the Aravallis. So this Central Highland has Vindhyas to its north and Aravallis to its northwest, and further when we move towards eastwards, that is towards the northeast direction, we have, or the eastward extension of this highland, Central Highland, is Bundelkhand, and also further eastward extension would lead us to Chota Nagpur Plateau, as you can see. Now next point comes the slope. So the major river here, like the Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken, they flow from southwest to northeast. So we can know this area is much more wider, the west area is much more wider, and the eastern area is much more narrower. Moreover, the height of this area is larger and height of this area is lower than that of it. So we can get an idea of the slope because of the flow of the rivers. Okay, so this was about this Central Highlands. Now next comes the Deccan Plateau, which lies to the south of this Narmada river. Now this Deccan Plateau can again be divided into two broad divisions, that is the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. As you can see, this Deccan Plateau can be divided into two broad regions again, the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. The Western Ghats, they are very continuous. As you can see in the figure, these Western Ghats are quite continuous, whereas these Eastern Ghats are discontinuous. Hence these Western Ghats can only be passed or crossed through passes, while these Eastern Ghats, because of the flow of the rivers, because of the rivers draining into the Bay of the Bengal, they are quite discontinuous, and moreover these Western Ghats are higher than the Eastern Ghats, that is their average elevation is from 900 to 1600 meters, while Eastern Ghats have only 600 meters of elevation. This is what Western Ghats have. Now Western Ghats can be known from various local names come here, and these were the major features that were required to be known. Again, this Peninsular Plateau is made up of this Deccan Plateau is made up of black soil. The soil that you will find in this region is generally the black soil. Okay, so this was all about it, nothing very typical. It's just that this is the part of the Peninsular Plateau. To the north of this plateau lies the Central Highland, and to the north of this Narmada river lies the Central Highland, which is a part of the Peninsular Plateau, and to the south of this Narmada river lies the Deccan Plateau, which is again a part of the Peninsular Plateau. So Peninsular Plateau can be divided into Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. Further, the Deccan Plateau can be divided into Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Now when we come to Central Highlands, these Central Highlands are surrounded by Vindhyas range in the north and the Aravalli range in the northwest. The Central Highland is in such a way that the slope decreases as we move from southwest to northeast because of the major river that flows drain in the flow in the direction of the northeast, like Chambal, Rabi and Sindh, Betwa, sorry, not Ravi, Betwa, Chambal, Sindh, Ken, these are the rivers. And again, the eastward extension of this plateau is called as the Chota Nagpur Plateau. And before that, we have the Bundelkhand region. I could not show it in the map because of the lack of the space. Now, when it comes to Deccan Plateau, we have Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats cover the western coast, Eastern Ghats cover the eastern coast. These Western Ghats are quite continuous and they are at a very high elevation, whereas Eastern Ghats are discontinuous because of the rivers that continuously drain into Bay of Bengal. These ghats hence can be crossed only through passes, while this is not the case here. Moreover, the soil that is found in the Deccan Plateau is the black soil. So this was all about the Peninsular Plateau. Thank you.